Welcome to the African Weekly Roundup, a weekly program every Sunday here on HORUFADHI Media, where I discuss the latest news and events across the African continent. I'm Sultan Mohammed, your host and producer here on HORUFADHI Media. We hope you find this program very informative. Please like, share, and for similar content, do subscribe to HORUFADHI Media. Also, do subscribe to HORUFADHI Media Group's second channel, known as HORUFADHI TV, where you are currently watching this program, and where you can find other exclusive programs just behind the scenes and Mahahis, among others. And last but not least, do follow myself, Sultan Mohammed, Suleiman Hashi, Yasin Abdi, and the wider HORUFADHI Media team on our social media platforms that should appear on the screen any moment. Let's get straight into the headlines. And we start off in Angola, where officials from the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda held talks on Saturday aimed at ending a political standoff between the two countries caused by widespread conflict near their shared border. Discussions, which were mediated by the Angolan President João Lorenzo, come amid worsening tensions caused by violence carried out by M23 rebel group in Congo's east, which has forced tens of thousands to flee their homes. Congo has long accused Rwanda of backing the Tutsi-led group, which has attacked the Congolese army near the Rwandan border since 2012. However, Rwanda has denied these accusations. A joint statement released late on Saturday said the talks would maintain the political dialogue between the authorities of the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Republic of Rwanda as a means of resolving the political crisis between the two brotherly nations. The talks will carry on discussions held in July, which the two countries pledged to end hostilities and remove M23 fighters from Congo. Diplomatic tensions escalated last month after the group launched a new offensive in the North Kivu province and captured the strategic town of Kiwanja, prompting Congolese authorities to expel the Rwandan ambassador. Now, last week, thousands joined anti-Rwanda protests in the eastern Congolese city of Goma, denouncing Rwanda's alleged support of M23 rebels, as Kinshasa recalled its interim acting ambassador from Kigali in a further souring of relations. Now over to Nigeria, where a group of 21 children were abducted by gunmen last week from the farm in northwest Nigeria's Katsina state were freed and reunited with their families on Saturday, police said. Kidnapping has become an endemic in recent years in Katsina, the home state of President Muhammadu Buhari, as roving gangs of armed men abduct peoples from schools, hospitals, roads and farms, demanding ransom cash from their relatives. 3 of the captives' parents reported to Reuters the children aged between 8 and 14 were released after parents paid a ransom of 1.5 million naira or $3,400. But the police spokesman Gambu Isa denied a ransom had been paid. The 3 parents who spoke to Reuters asked not to be named for fear of reprisals from authorities who do not approve of ransom payments or from the bandits themselves. They said if we don't pay the ransom between 4 and 5 p.m. yesterday, which was Saturday, they will move into the deep part of the forest with them and then we will never see them, one father said, adding that some parents had to turn to relatives to help raise their share of the money. Now, parents said more than 30 children were kidnapped on October 30th while harvesting crops at a farm located between Kamfinan and Kurmindoka villages in Katsina, but some managed to escape. Police said, and parents said, all remaining captives were now free. Now over to East Africa, where Ethiopia's warring sides agreed on Wednesday to a permanent cessation of hostilities in a conflict believed to have killed hundreds of thousands, but enormous challenges lie ahead, including getting all parties to lay down arms or withdraw altogether. The war in Africa's second most populous country, which marked 2 years on Friday, has seen abuses documented on both sides, with millions of people displaced and many fearing a near famine. The level of destruction is immense, said the lead negotiator for Ethiopia's government, Ridwan Hussein. Lead negotiator for Tigray expressed a similar sentiment and noted the painful concessions that have been made, exhorted Ethiopians, urged by the parties to stop voices of divisions and hate, watch them shake hands on Wednesday. A draft text of the agreement says Tigray rebel forces will be disarmed, starting with light weapons within 30 days of Wednesday signing, and Ethiopian federal forces will take full control of all federal facilities, installations and major infrastructures such as airports, highways within the Tigray region. The final detailed agreement was not made public, but the brief joint statement notes a detailed program of disarmament and restoration of constitutional order in Tigray. Now, Ethiopia's government will continue restoring basic services to the Tigray region, where communications, transport and banking links for more than 5 million people have been severed since fighting began more than 2 years ago. The parties also commit to unfettered humanitarian access. The devil will be in the implementation, said former Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, who helped facilitate the talks. An African Union panel with representatives from both sides and Africa experts will monitor the process. It was not immediately clear when independent journalists and human rights researchers would be allowed into Tigray. Major questions remain. Neighboring Eritrea, which fought alongside Ethiopia, was not part of the peace talks. The draft says that Ethiopian integration sides agreed to stop collusion with external forces hostile to either party, and Eritrea's information minister did not reply to any questions asked about this. Forces from Ethiopia's neighboring Amhara region also have been fighting Tigray forces, but Amhara's representatives also were not present at the talks. Amharas cannot be expected to abide by any outcome of negotiations process from which they think they are excluded, said Teodores Tirfe, chairman of Amhara's Association of America. But observers strained by the conflict welcome the agreement. This is a very much welcomes first steps, said the United Nations Secretary General spokesman. And the US Ambassador to United Nations, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, told reporters she was delighted because what it means is that lives will be saved. Now moving on to neighboring Somalia, where a suicide bomber struck a military training camp on Saturday, causing casualties, a military official said, in an attack claimed by Al-Shabaab jihadist group 1 week after the twin blasts left 116 people dead. The attack on the camp in Somalia's capital Mogadishu came as the government ratcheted up its fight against the militants who have led 15-year insurgency in a troubled Horn of Africa nation. The bomber detonated himself in the Heronatnat training camp for army recruits, military official Aden Yare told AFP. There were some casualties inflicted on both civilian and new recruits, he said, adding that investigations were underway. Now, Somalia's state media said the blast occurred at the camp's entrance, indicating some civilian casualties. Witnesses reported seeing several ambulances arrive at the scene of the attack. There was no official statement from the government about the attack, which was claimed by Al-Shabaab. The Al-Qaeda-linked fighters have stepped up their attacks in Somalia since President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud took office in May and vowed an all-out war against the jihadists. On Friday, the Ministry of Information said the army had killed more than 100 Al-Shabaab fighters in an operation in central federal member state of Hirshabelle. This comes only a week after militants carried out a twin car bombing targeting the education ministry in the deadliest assault on the country in 5 years, which saw 116 people killed and more than 300 wounded. The attack took place at the same junction where a truck packed with explosives blew up on October 14th, 2017, which was 5 years ago, killing 512 people, injuring more than 290. The single most deadliest attack in the country. And only a week prior to that, militants stormed the popular Tawakkal Hotel in the coastal town of Kismayo, the de facto administrative capital of the federal member state of Jubaland, which saw scores killed. And only a few weeks prior to that incident, militants conducted a triple suicide bombing in the regional capital of Beledweyne in the federal member state of Hirshabelle, which saw over 20 killed, including senior state officials. In August, the group launched a 30-hour gun and bomb attack on the popular Hayat Hotel in Mogadishu, similarly killing 21 people and wounding 117 more. Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud declared an all-out war against Al-Shabaab following this attack, which saw operations conducted in the central regions of Hiran and Lower Shabelle. However, not much engagement has been seen from other federal member states outside of Hirshabelle to liberate regions under Al-Shabaab control within their authority or jurisdiction. In retaliation for losses, militants have stepped up singular suicide attacks across the country. Now, over to Tanzania, where recent reports coming in indicate 19 people were killed when a precision airplane crashed into Lake Victoria in Tanzania while attempting to land at an airport during bad weather, Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa said. All Tanzanians join you in mourning these 19 people who have lost their lives, said the Prime Minister. Regional Commissioner Albert Chalamila said 43 people, including 39 passengers, 2 pilots and 2 cabin crew, were on board the plane. An official said 26 people had been rescued so far on Sunday. Now, Precision Air is Tanzania's largest privately owned airline. As we speak, we've managed to rescue 26 people who were taken to our referral hospital, said the officials in the region. The plane departed from the commercial capital of Dar es Salaam and fell in the Lake of Victoria this morning due to storm and heavy rains in Bukuba. We've managed to save quite a number of people, officials told journalists. Now, according to the police commander in Bukuba, the plane crashed due to bad weather fog, and it's raining around that area. Rescue efforts are still ongoing, and the airline has worked in Tanzania for so long and has never had any crashes, according to local reports. Now, Bukuba Airport is on the shores of Lake Victoria, Africa's largest lake, and rescue boats were deployed and emergency services continue to rescue other passengers trapped on the plane. Tanzania President Samia Suluhu Hassan called for calm during the rescue operations.